We don't really talk about the causes of the war in these signs. We don't necessarily dig deeply into why certain things are happening, why a movement matters in the larger scheme of things. But we have a brilliant description of what happened in any certain location because of these maps and signs. So they do some things very, very well, and they leave some things out that a modern today audience at the centennial would kind of cringe at. So we both love and find lacking these signs. But if you think about what they accomplish, not only do they have, for those of you who are close by, you can see they've got these little icons in the corner. If you see another Chancellorsville sign, it'll have the very same marker, so it helps with consistency, makes it easy for you to understand that we're all looking at Chancellorsville battlefield information. But it also helps to bring these battles to life. Remember that we're now transitioning from a time when the veterans were here and knew where their unit fought, and that was really the critical information that they wanted to find, is where was my unit, where were my buddies, let me show my children, my friends where I fought. We're transitioning now to a time where we have visitors who have little or no connection to the Civil War itself, except that it might be part of their past, part of their collective past, and so we need to explain it in this more flowery kind of language. But one of the biggest things that you notice from the sign like this or from the Sidney King painting is that they are upright. They are standing right in front of you. You can't see what's happening behind this sign. Is that what you see if you go out on the field today? No. You're mostly going to see wayside signs that are lower to the ground, more like hip height, where you're looking down at the sign, and then you can look back up at the resource. They don't block your view. So what's the benefit of an upright sign? It does catch your attention. Doesn't weather as much, that's right. You might have noticed some of our signs get a little crinkly on the edges after a while these are still pretty sturdy after 50 years. But think also of how you're visiting the park. How are you going to get here? You're going to drive. And man, if it's the 1950s and 60s, you want to drive everywhere. This is the height of automobile tourism, or at least romanticized automobile tourism. So, see the USA in your Chevrolet, anybody? See the battlefield in your Chevrolet. Don't even get out. Just read the signs. Take a look around. You'll experience the battlefield that way. And by 1950, it's worth saying, which is an interesting statistic to keep in mind, because all of you probably arrived here by your car, right? And when you go on vacation, if you're not going to another country or the West Coast, you probably go in your car, right? Well, in the 1950s, they actually write that by now, 99% of our visitors are arriving in their own vehicles or in rentals, which suggests to me that before that, people might have been using other forms of transportation. Maybe more mass transit. Maybe folks were arriving more by train and walking. But now, by 1950, 99% of our park visitors are coming in their own vehicles of some form or the other. They then focus on the park driving tour, driving experience. These battlefields are laid out and designed to be driven. That is how folks in the 1950s and 60s wanted to experience them.